Hi everyone, welcome to Maker Mysteries Episode 2. Tonight we'll be diving into the mystery of what exactly happened to Joshua Maddux back in 2008. This accidental death case seems to be anything but accidental and has left investigators with more questions than answers. All of the materials used in tonight's project can be found in the description box below, as well as a link to the specialty bead mix from Jesse James Beads that is featured in tonight's project. This project is sponsored by Jesse James Beads and is part of Shop Small with Jesse James Beads. Thanks for watching. Let's get started. Joshua Maddux was born in Colorado Springs in 1990. He was the youngest of 4 siblings with 2 sisters and an older brother named Zachary. Those who knew Joshua described him as very smart, kind, and a great guitar player. He was known for his wild sense of humor and was well liked by everyone. Joshua's family described him as being a free spirit who enjoyed spending time outdoors and would often go on long nature walks. They also said that Josh, as he was growing up, talked about going on a big adventure when he became an adult, going off the grid and spending time communing nature and living a nomadic lifestyle. When Joshua was 16, his older brother Zachary committed suicide. This had a huge impact on Joshua as he and his brother were very close. The closest people to Joshua reported a noticeable change in him after his brother's passing. He became very quiet and more reserved and lost some of that spunky sense of humor that he was so well known for. On May 8, 2008, Joshua left his home telling his sister Kay that he was going on a nature walk, but he never returned. After not hearing from Josh for over 24 hours, Joshua's parents began contacting Joshua's friends to try to locate him, but no one seemed to know where he was. 5 days later, on May 13th, Joshua's family finally contacted the police. Now, this may seem like a long time to wait to contact authorities. However, Josh was legally an adult at this point, and his family considered that maybe he had taken off to go on that big adventure that he had talked about so often when he was growing up. The police filed a report, but they didn't take his disappearance very seriously, assuming that Joshua had left on his own free will, and they had no reason to suspect that a crime had taken place. Joshua's family took it upon themselves to search for Joshua on their own for what turned out to be 7 long years. Joshua's family even remained in the same house despite getting a divorce in hopes that Joshua would return to that home one day. In August of 2015, the remains of a young man were found in the chimney of an abandoned cabin only 2 blocks from Joshua's home. Dental records confirmed the remains were those of Joshua Maddux. Joshua's remains were found in a fetal position with his legs above his head. Essentially, he was upside down in the chimney. The cabin had been abandoned for over 10 years. The owner of the cabin would go and check on the property periodically, but never really had reason to suspect that there was a dead body within the chimney walls. The owner was in the middle of demolishing the cabin when the body was discovered. A large piece of furniture had been placed in front of the fireplace opening, and when this was removed and the stones were broken away, Joshua's remains were found within. The coroner ruled Joshua's death an accident. However, the details of exactly how Joshua had died were unknown. Starvation was ruled out, but it was possible that he may have died of hypothermia. Officials suspected that Joshua had tried to break into the cabin by climbing into the chimney from the roof of the cabin. This would explain why Joshua's body was upside down. There, he would likely have become stuck with a large piece of furniture blocking the fireplace opening, so he would not have been able to turn around or climb back out of the chimney. Now, up until this point, the case seems pretty straightforward, until it is noted that the chimney had rebar and a steel metal mesh grate covering the chimney opening. This was placed there to keep birds and raccoons and other small rodents out of the chimney. Even at 150 pounds and 6'3", there was no way that Joshua could have fit between the rebar that crossed the chimney opening. In fact, the rebar and steel grate were permanent fixtures that were built into the actual bricks of the chimney during the construction, and these were not removable. Also, the owner of the cabin reported that he did not recall ever pushing a large piece of furniture up against the fireplace opening. Stranger still, Joshua's body was found completely naked, and his clothing was found neatly folded inside the cabin near the fireplace. Initially, there was a suspect in this case, a man named Andrew Newman. Andrew was reportedly the last person to be seen with Joshua. Andrew was arrested on suspicion of a fatal stabbing, among other crimes, near the same time of Joshua's disappearance. But despite Andrew's lengthy criminal record, he was never brought in for the questioning of Joshua's disappearance. There were even several reports that Andrew had been telling people and posting on social media that he had, quote, put Josh in a hole, end quote. The case of Joshua Maddux's death is perplexing. When you consider the clothes neatly folded inside the cabin, the large piece of furniture blocking the fireplace opening, and the numerous tips pointing towards Andrew Newman, the biggest mystery of all would seem, why didn't the police spend more time investigating what appears to all of us to be more than just an accident? What do you think?